water, just let Brian know, and
Okay.
just be like, hey, Brian, or just if you want to excuse yourself, you can just sort of be like, hey, I'll be back, and
Got it.
and I'll talk to Brian.
Brian will go use the bathroom for me.
Yeah. And we're live. We're good. Yes. Welcome to the show. I'm excited. It's been a couple weeks since I've done a podcast.
Okay, cool.
And,
it's been a couple weeks since I've done one too. Thanks for having me. It's good to be here.
For sure. And you are a professional musician. Is that the right?
Yeah, professional musician.
Is there
working
any
musician, touring
okay.
musician.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're based out of?
I am based out of LA.
Okay.
/ Chicago.
Why slash?
Because I go between both cities.
Okay.
Yeah, but right now I'm touring, so I work out of South America.
Holy moly. Okay, before we start getting into that, it sounds like that's been a long journey, huh?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Where did this all start for you? Where did you start playing music?
Guam.
Yeah. And,
home.
Yeah.
Yeah, here.
And how was it introduced into your life? And where's the beginnings of Rose Laguan, the musician, the seedling?
So my father, Carlos Laguan, is he plays bass here with the jazz quartet with Larry Franca's, Patrick Palomo, and Mike Diamore. There's other players here too as well. So Carlos Bedalia is also part of that. And probably I'm lacking a few names. So, but he actually went to Berkeley in Boston back in the day, and he was gigging in Boston and DC and New York in the jazz circle there.
Okay. And music's been a part of his life for a really long time?
Yeah. So my father's side is very musical. There's 10 kids. He comes from a family of 10. He's the second oldest.
The typical Chamorro family from that era.
It's
my dad comes from a family of 9, so it's
it's like standard. Like, five is like minimum.
Yeah, it's like only 5.
Like only. Our family trees are gigantic. They're like,
I have like
huge.
63 first cousins.
Oh my gosh! Speaking of the reunion, I just happened to be home this time. At a last minute change in tour, but it's during my tour break, and it just happened to fall in line with the family reunion.
Fate, right?
Yeah, I guess so. And so I managed to go to the mass. I played in the mass. My dad's like, "Hey, you want to play in the mass?" I was like, yeah, "I love you, Dad. Yes, of course, I will do it." And so they did this. I had to run out and go get my mom from work, but like they did this family photo in the church, and it was like you couldn't even. It looked like a class photo.
The photo's gonna bend on the sides, right?
Yeah, wide
they have to make it like. Hold on, don't move for like 10 seconds. We're gonna panoramic this shit right
I
now.
know, right? Yeah, that's exactly that's what you need. Panorama for Guam family reunion photos.
Our family reunion was back in like 98 or 99. I think that was the last Adder family reunion, and it was down at the Agate Beach. And I don't even think you'll be able to take a family picture.
No, but we're going off topic from being a musician.
It's okay.
But anyway,
we'll family, we'll roll back in.
The original family reunion, there was, I could be wrong with this number, but it could have been exaggerated, but there was like 5,000 people. Like, they had to have it at Ipao Beach.
That's believable.
Yeah. Anyway, so this family reunion gathering was like, so when they had that big reunion, which I wasn't there for, they had to color code everybody.
Everyone wearing shirts.
Like the clans had to be color coded. So this family reunion is green. So we only did the green clan. I'm not kidding. I'm not joking. Like, we had to do the green
Everybody
clan.
Bring your green shirts so we can make sure you are actually part of the green clan.
But
I believe our family reunion was also like I didn't even meet everybody that day, and plus I was like 10 years old.
yeah,
So
oh man.
I think it was just a enjoyable fun, just run around, just being a kid kind of thing, right? Not really like getting to know your family, like, oh shit, you're my first cousin.
Yeah.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. This one was digestible for me because it was big, but it was small.
Right.
And so I was able to kind of make my way around and like touch base and like reconnect with cousins and aunts and uncles that I just haven't had an opportunity to do that with. And you know, when you're away, you're always mahaling, you know,
Right.
like always mahaling. So that's for me, I'm constantly missing home.
How do you get over it?
How do I work?
You just get your mind off it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I just, the support of the family is
Yeah.
like, it really keeps you going, you know?
Yeah.
So staying connected.
And
then
I'm pretty sure now in today's age too, right? FaceTime, WhatsApp.
Yes. Yeah, WhatsApp has been huge. We have like, I have.
Stop sending me gifs.
No.
Is it GIF? A GIF?
It's super funny because of this whole reunion thing. So they do this, they do the Green Clan reunion, right? And then there's talk about the big one, the very big one. And they're like, well, your generation is gonna put this together. And I'm like, it's gonna be a 4-day event. And I'm like,
4-day event?
Like, really? Wow, I didn't even know that.
So like a conference?
That's exactly what Guam conference reunion.
Yeah, family conference. You're gonna choose a representative.
We're gonna open a Patreon page. We're gonna start charging.
It's literally 5,000 shirts.
A cover. But yeah, I mean, the family thing is gigantic here, and I mean, like all you guys know, it's huge. It's part of our. For sure. It's part of who we are, you know.
Yeah.
Family is.
I call it island style.
Yeah, island style roots. Like keep yourself.
Rained a lot, you know.
Yeah, like today, did you see the Telefofo?
That video
KUAM thing?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, that thing was just like throwing off.
I know.
That came in through my WhatsApp too. The number one source for news. WhatsApp. WhatsApp news.
Yes, there's like my uncles and aunts group chat for both mom and dad's side, then the first cousins group chat, then the siblings group chat, then the only me and you sibling group chat. It's like insane. So after this past reunion, they were kind of everyone was having a great time and sending photos, and I opened my phone. It was like 365 new messages. I'm like, oh my Lord. And it was just pictures and everyone responding, and it was wow. Yeah. Wow.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah,
okay, so before we go completely off track now. Yeah, so your dad's been playing for all his life.
Yes.
Touring in the East Coast mainly when he was out there.
Yeah, and my mother at the time was working for the Congressman of Guam. Okay. I believe it was Berdelio.
Back in the
80s.
Okay, it's probably.
Yeah. So, and then when I was about six.
Right, Ricky Berdelio.
I actually can't remember.
I don't know. You want to look that up? Oh yeah, if you need anything, just
Google that.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, so and after I was born, maybe like 6 to 8 months later, they moved back to the island.
And you were the oldest?
I'm the second oldest. Yeah.
Okay.
So my older sister, she was about 4 years old when moving back to the island.
Okay.
Yeah. And then ever since then, it just kind of grew up here. And then there was like 6 kids later.
A band.
Yeah, family band.
Family band? Was it legit family band?
No.
Okay.
But on my dad's side, my grandfather played. He was a bass player, banjo, violin, ukulele player. My uncle Lawrence is a bass player. Like all of his siblings play something. Right. And it's so we as kids, and not just only me, but my cousins and my siblings were around that a lot, and it just kind of was a thing where it was just part of our childhood,
right?
You know? And I just kind of took to it. I didn't really take to bass too much because my father played bass, but he played classical too, and that's what I took to. So I started first with classical guitar.
How old were you?
I was 12.
Okay. Just about the spongy time.
Yeah,
trying to figure it out.
I mean, I think when I was 5 or 6, I would always go in the music room and I would touch things, and You're not supposed to because they'll fall because they're taller than you.
Yeah,
they're fragile.
It's always the familiar story with musicians who grew up around music. I believe it was John T. John Ty Quinkle.
Okay.
Sorry, John T.
Okay, got
from
it.
John Dank Show. Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. He said that the guitar was always there. It was either him or Frankie that said the guitar. They always put the guitar. There was always a guitar there, you know. Or when the family got together, there was always a jam session.
Yeah.
And sort of immersing yourself into that lifestyle, not forcibly, but naturally, right?
Yeah, naturally. It just because it was part of the environment for us.
Yeah.
It was there, and everybody tapped into it. My cousins, my siblings, everybody did, and we just knew it as this is what the family does, and it was basically like a family jam, you know. And it's
like 4 guitars.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, there.
Couple of congas.
Yeah, no, I don't think we had any congas really, but yeah, that's kind of how it ended up being. And I started with classical, and then I fell into the punk scene. So it was big. Obviously, we have a big skate scene on Guam, and back in the day, you know, we didn't have like concerts. Never came to Guam. You know, we had to make our own concerts. So we would do mosh parties at Adaloop until the wee hours of the morning. Yeah, I'm aging myself. I don't know if you've heard these stories, but
I was just gonna say, what years were these? You know?
Yeah, but oh man, I don't even know. So I can't even remember what years they were. Let's see.
Mid-90s?
99?
Okay, late 90s.
Something like that. 2000, 2001, something like that. Maybe 98.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, because I moved. So fell into that scene and then did some gigging.
How did you get into it?
Here. How did I get into it?
At least into the punk scene. I mean, it's just like the people you surrounded yourself with again.
Yeah, so like
right?
band at school,
okay,
and there's kids that skate, then you just hang out with those guys.
Right. I started skateboarding when I was 11 years old. My sister was dating this guy who was a skater, and I just kind of fell into it, and then that's how I fell into like really loving punk rock music and just alternative, just rock music, right? Just that hard stuff, and just being around degenerates at a young age.
No, but
I look back now, and that's what exactly what, like dudes like drinking beer while like playing hacky sack, while drinking beer and stuff, and then skating. Like we used to hang out at the Tamuning community center, and and I was a small kid, just hanging out with them, and they were skating and just watching people gap things and where the old bus stop is, you know, where the gym's at. So the Tamuning Kings, right?
Kings, got it.
Okay, so Kings, right behind Kings is the Tamuning gym. Well, adjacent if you're looking at the camera, it was a bus stop, and it was just a bus stop, and then here was just all ramps and stuff just built by the community.
I can't remember if I've ever seen that. I don't know.
And this was about, I was 11 in 98, 99,
Okay. Wow. I guess
anyways, that was sort of my exposure to that.
Yeah.
Just hanging out with older kids. And
and it's so you hang with these guys, and then they do their own bands and jam, and then everyone just kind of like collaborates with each other, be like, hey, I'm looking for a bass player, you know, you want to make a band, you know, like things like that. As a kid, in a way, it's like 16, you're 16 years old and you're talking about like doing a band thing.
Yeah.
And so in school, I had one of my best friends at the time. He was a drummer. His name was Brett. And I remember seeing him grow from being not musically inclined to being a really great drummer. And he ended up being the go-to guy that we just kind of like, well, we're going to be in this band together, and we'll just find people. And so we would do that at 16 years old. And then we would just jam songs that we liked. I don't know, Strung Out, No Effects, all those kinds of things.
Right.
And then it just kind of evolved into like.
It's an interesting transition for you though, to like go from classical
to punk, yeah.
To really, well, punk is less intricate than classical in a way, right?
Yeah, I mean, you learn the fun of it. Okay, this is like, I guess it's
go ahead. Teach me.
No. This is, I guess it's all personal preference, but.
Oh, okay.
I loved classical because it was very melodic. You were doing multiple things at the same time. So you would play the melody, and then the transitions into, you carried, not only did you carry the rhythm of it, you carried the chords to it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It was basically like playing piano on guitar,
right.
In a way, to try and kind of simplify it.
Okay,
and it was just always beautiful sounding to me and very melodic, and I really liked that. And you can say that about jazz. You can say that about blues. You can say that about any style of music out there. But that was what I was exposed to, and that's what caught my attention.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then in my teenage years, you know, my atmosphere was band class, and then skaters, you know, and then hanging out with the skaters, and then like learning of punk music, and then like really like, wow, I like that too, you know. And then what was interesting to me was also the community that it turned into, you know. It's like this brotherhood, sisterhood of like, we're skaters, we're family, you know. Mosh, let's throw mosh parties, and then we just 10 bands go set up at Adaloop, and then just people mosh to all the skate songs that we loved to listen to.
Yeah.
And that was just kind of like a few of the things that we did back in the day. So we made our own concerts, really.
For sure. I actually just went to Moistland I think it was this past weekend. It's like 6 bands.
Oh, wow.
And it was just 6 or 7 bands, and it was at this house in Jigo. And apparently they've been throwing it for a really long time. And my first time there, and I mean, you're totally right. It's that environment, the people who are there, just really appreciating. And that's what I've noticed about the music community, especially with the rock scene, you know. There's a real great appreciation for the music, like people standing within inches of their friend that they know, it's singing the songs with them, you know.
That
whether
connection.
It's an original song or whether it's a cover song, but more so the original songs, right? And it's like, I'm standing there. I've never been in the I've grown up playing music and stuff, but my family was not musically inclined, right? I got it from like my mom's side of the family that I didn't meet until I was a little older, right? I actually just ran into my aunt. We were at the karaoke bar, and she started singing, and I looked at my girlfriend. I was like, "Hey, that's my mom's sister."
Wow.
Like, you know, and I was like, if you're wondering where I get sort of that musical ability, it's from that. But I was never put into that situation where I'm around it a lot. I had to, even the friends I hang out with, a lot of my friends are like athletes and stuff like that. They don't really play music and stuff. So when I went to Moistland, going back to that, I was like, holy shit. And even just going to just rock shows in general, Binary Sunset throws a bunch of shows. That's Jordan Hardy and his crew there, you know, and that appreciation for just wanting to be around your friends and watching them play music. It's kind of, it's amazing to watch that community from the outside, right?
Yeah. And in relation to that kind of idea of being close, of you going to see your friend play and that connection that you have with them through music, it's that light, that connection, that emotion, that
energy.
Yes, the energy that you share, you know, all right there. And it's very similar in the sense to what you're doing here. You know, it started, you didn't think that it would get this far,
right?
You know, and it's because you have a love for it and you have a drive for it, and it's growing. And the energy is spreading, and and
Yeah.
now here we are, and
Now I got you sitting on my
add
table.
it to the list. Like I feel really lucky.
No. It's
Being a part of your journey.
Yeah,
It's
thank
a
you.
beautiful thing.
Thank you. It's been an incredible like journey. Even just bringing Brian, Matt's not here today, but just bringing these guys on, like helping people who have helped me, and then kind of just like stepped off, and that's when I realized, like, damn, this is it's an actual passion. Like, wow, I'm actually passionate about this. I was passionate about music for a long time, and then I kind of put it on the back burner. I was like, okay, let's try talking to people, right?
Yeah, and I'm excited for you.
Thanks.
Yeah,
But
really cool.
Going back to where were we? So you transitioned from classical into
punk, right?
into punk rock music, and the thing that drew you in was more of the community, right? And
pretty much the people and the like-minded drive for the love of music.
Yeah.
For the love of what it brings out of us. It really makes people happy. It really does, and it's kind of don't do drugs, but it's like it's drug related. It's very dopamine.
It's a delinquent, real. It's very juvenile and.
Or I don't know the right word for it.
Okay, maybe I did use the wrong word.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, everybody. They listen to this like, did they just call me delinquent?
No, but the love that we have for music, and
Okay.
I like to think that I believe that even if you're non-musical, like if you don't play an instrument, you do share that same feeling that a musician feels when there is that I'm standing in front of my friend, play their music to me.
Yeah.
Energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's
because when a musician would feed off of the crowd's energy.
Yes.
I mean, the crowd's just like chilling there, and then you go to places around here, and I'm looking around like, dude, these guys are awesome. Like, how come nobody is like dancing or like fucking putting their hands up? But maybe it's just a too cool factor, right? Like, I'm too cool to.
I know it's weird because sometimes people. I have to say that's just because you're not jumping around doesn't mean you're not having a good time.
Okay.
There are some people that will stand there and be so in awe that they can't move.
Oh, interesting.
And they're just like, that was amazing. My mind has been blown. I don't know what else to do with myself, you know, kind of moments. And that's leaning on the more optimistic, positive side, you know.
For sure.
And
the benefit of the doubt kind of.
Yeah, and if they weren't having a good time, they probably would have just left, or they would stand at the bar and drink milk.
This band sucks. Let's get out of here. Drink milk.
Yeah.
Grenadine. What is the famous one? Oh my gosh. Not grenadine. It's
for
cranberry juice.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't want to drink tonight. You want cranberry juice? You got a UTI? All right. Curveball. But anyways, when did you move? When did you leave Ireland?
I left Ireland in 2000. I moved to Chicago and started working
basically immediately after high school.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I left and I originally wanted to go for a long time. I wanted to go to Boston like my father, but I moved to Chicago, and then I kind of they didn't really have like, what is it? They still had like the thing called the Reader. It's a newspaper. It's like a what do you call it?
Like a gazette?
No, just basically like this thick newspaper thing where you just kind of read through it and look for what, like apartments and jobs and all kinds of stuff. And so that was kind of I guess the Craigslist.
Like a classifieds or?
Classifieds, yeah. Like but paper still.
Yeah.
in a phone online thing.
Phone book style.
Yeah, kind of, sort of, yeah. And so I answered an ad in that for work, and then it snowballed. I did an audition.
What did the ad?
It was they were looking for a female guitar player.
Okay.
Yeah, and so at the time, you know, on Guam, the drinking age, the legal age is 18, but in the States, 21.
Yeah.
So when I answered the ad, I kind of had to lie about my age, you know, because I knew how to be in this, in like the bar scene or the venue scene, and, you know, having to wait a couple years to legally get into it would be like, just really.
Right.
So I
just put the X on my hand.
Yeah.
Just call it a day.
Anyways,
I got fucked up before.
But fast forwarding that, I did the audition and got it, and it snowballed into just me being a working musician in Chicago.
You didn't have any plans to like go to school out there?
I did, but then I ended up falling into the working scene.
Okay.
And I just kept with that, and it was like basically like I was out in the field working, you know, and on the side I would do my own studies, but I was mainly just working. Right. You know,
just
and
gigging as much as you can.
Yeah. And after that, I would do some side projects, aside from my main gig, and then my main band eventually evolved.
Yeah. Was there a point where you were telling yourself, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to do, or were you just sort of going with the flow at such a young age?
I was going with the flow. I never thought I would be like a full-time musician for this long. I've been super blessed.
Well, when you were planning on going to school, what were you planning on majoring in?
Classical, jazz. Okay. Those were the things that I really like, because it was my interest, and I really wanted to touch base back into the classical part. And my dad is a jazz guru for me, so
okay.
Yeah.
Right, and so it was like a cheat sheet, right?
Yeah. That's one way to put it. Yeah. But sure. I studied with him all the way up until I left, you know, and I left when I was 18.
You've been a pretty independent thinker then, since you were young, because you already sort of knew what you wanted to study. Like, were you very studious in school, like growing up?
No, actually no, I wasn't. But study in the sense that like what interested me.
Right,
you know? Right. I mean, obviously.
But you weren't just a kid that just went home and didn't do shit, right?
Yeah. I mean, I would practice for sure. Like I'm still learning things to this day, you know, still learning to this day. You know, I mean, if I ever met anyone that would say they just have it all figured out, I would want to pull them on this podcast so you can talk to them for 10 hours, because I would love to hear what they have to say.
I'll make you interview them.
We can both do it. I'll just sit over there.
With just the light on them and us in the dark.
Yes.
Yeah. So tell us.
Mm-hmm. Tell me your secrets.
Yeah.
So your journey.
I mean, damn, it's very interesting, because so did you just drop out of school like immediately, or
no,
did it just like phase out of your life, or you never just went?
I didn't go.
Oh shit.
I didn't go. I mean, I guess if you didn't go, is that a way of saying you did drop out?
No, not really.
I don't know.
You technically didn't step through the institution or sit in a classroom.
There was nowhere to drop out. Right. Yeah. So I really wanted to. But then I just was working, and then I kind of just took. I rode that wave, you know.
How did your family or your parents think of it? Like, hey, so have you gone into school yet? Like,
no, my family was super supportive. Okay. Full on supportive.
Right. Well, your dad has experience, right, in touring and in what it takes to be a musician out there.
Yeah, and totally, yeah. And he did the whole gig scene and like playing, you know, the hustle. And it's still to this day is that way, you know, and but there was never really like, okay, we're going to sit down, we're going to talk about how this worked. You know, there was never that. Yeah. It was just, they were
here's the guidelines.
Yeah.
It's a book.
Do this, do that, do this. No, they were been extremely supportive, very supportive of me. And if there's anything that I ever could be more grateful for, it's that, you know,
for sure.
is having that
I think
support.
it's super important. Spike Lee came to my school one time.
Oh, wow.
And he goes, the biggest killers of dreams are parents. You know, usually, for the most part. You know, it's because it's usually the parent would want what they want for you.
Okay, I can kind of see that. Yeah,
they want better than they had, and they just want they want to see you not have to struggle, right?
Right. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But
I mean, I'm not living like I'm.
No, but all I'm saying, while I'm getting out of that, is that support, that sort of support, that push from your parents is definitely extremely important.
Yeah,
right?
it is. It really
because
is.
Because if you called them, they were like, nah, get a life. You know, and that was it. No email, no FaceTime back then. You know, it's like
just flip phone, text. Yeah. Not even text. Oh my gosh. Remember, did you have a phone where you had to like
1, 2, 3, 4?
Yeah, like press the number multiple times to spell a word.
Fuck, backspace.
Pagers.
Yeah. And then it was from the single thing to T9, and then it was like try to predict what you're trying to say, but you're ready just too fast.
Oh man, I saw this. This is just a little off the topic. I saw this video of like this maybe 2-year-old baby playing with a Game Boy and trying to touch the screen as if it was an iPad or had touch interface.
Spoiled.
It was so cute.
They're spoiled.
But it was, yeah. But it was really cute.
Yeah, I mean, just the fact that their brains, the minds have developed to understand already what a screen is, and that you can actually touch a screen is fucking amazing.
It really is. It's going to be interesting to see what that generation, you know,
what they'll come up with.
Yes, just pray that it's for the good, for the betterment of humanity.
Hopefully we're not in the actual movie of Idiocracy.
I've not seen that.
Oh, it's where humanity gets dumber.
Oh, boy.
As it goes along. And they say so far it's accurate. No, I don't know.
Really?
No.
Oh, jeez. No, I'm being hopeful. I'm hopeful.
I'm very, very hopeful.
Yeah.
You know, we have to be, right? And I think it's people within. I'm probably a few years younger than you.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So
I'm 36.
Okay. So we're sort of in that same generation, and that's getting ready to move forward into sort of a different future, right? And I mean, we grew up in the age where there was no internet, to where there was internet, to where there was just super fast internet, to where now there's internet in your hands at all times.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to know something, it's there. That's why when people ask me something, like, dude, where's your phone?
You know, I actually make a conscious effort to not be on my phone. Like, try to be very self-aware about. Is it tough? Not really, because then I make it a habit, and then it just becomes part of my daily routine.
Yeah, I have one of my friends. He actually shuts off his phone from 9 p.m. to 7 a.m. the next morning.
Okay.
Or 9 p.m., 4 p.m., something like that.
Okay.
So once he shuts it off, he's off the grid.
Yeah.
And that's his sort of time to.
The only thing that I have trouble doing with that is if my family ever called me. You know, so I check to see if my family has called me.
Right.
You know, like that's just a thing that for me, because at a moment's notice of just anything
for
an emergency, if I always make sure that I'm in contact with my family.
Right.
So I turn off all of my notifications. I have my do not disturb. It's on silent. Right. And so
I get in trouble for being on do not disturb. Like, are you on do not disturb again?
Oh my
God.
When are you going to text me back? No, but I do that so that I'm in control of my efforts in looking at my phone.
For sure.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Instead of it being a sort of a crutch when you don't know what to do.
Yes, but I read on my phone too.
Okay.
I do a lot of reading on my phone.
Well, that's some killer balance then.
Yeah.
You have to.
I know, no, but I've thought about getting a Kindle, but I changed my mind about it just because it's like, why do I don't want to be carrying two things, you know? And
Right.
but because I practice, you know, I make sure that I'm reading I just do it. It's right there.
Right.
Yeah.
The availability. God.
Yeah. That's the one thing that might be the most distracting, is knowing that you have it's literally right there and you can go out of your way to check.
Yeah. I mean, you can update yourself on Instagram in less than 2 seconds.
Yeah, totally.
And there's probably people that just put down their phone. They'll be like, oh shit.
Yeah. But it's the
I just saw that.
The exercise of trying to do that so that you're not so you're not so unplugged from life,
from reality, right?
Yeah.
You know, with me, a lot of what I do is on my phone, with the podcast at least. At work, not I don't even need my phone at all. But everything with this is like, fuck, okay, I gotta update this. I gotta update a website. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. I gotta see what this message is. And it's like constant. And I've sort of fallen into that routine of just like, okay, what are we gonna do now? How do I use my phone? It's like the phone has become the utility knife, right?
Yeah, but it's a good thing because it's a tool. You're using it as a tool, you know, like it's for, I guess it's like how should I say, you know, like you can use it for good or for bad, you know, and right now you're using it for good, you know, like when will you ever have a desire to use it for bad? You know, can only hope that no human in this world would ever want to do something like that, you know, but it's helping you grow in something that you believe in, you know, and you're not treating it like, how should I say, like, in the things that I read about how it's affecting the like the suicide rates and depression and addiction and what it does to people, you know, and I'm specifically talking about social media, you know, because it's
on that sort of fake reality, fantasy.
It's what you put in front, and then it's how you filter it through your own perspective. You know what I'm saying? So try, like, it's just highlights of people's daily lives, and everybody has a right to do those things, you know, and always try and lead with truth at the end of the day. Right. You know, always try and lead with truth.
Not angles, everybody.
Yeah. Truth. I mean, you know, if you're going to do an angle, be honest about it, and be forthcoming about it, you know, and humble too.
Yeah, there's definitely good ways to use it, but it's so easy to just cross that line and fall into ways on how you use social media and just the way people use it, man. I mean, people make fake accounts to bash on other people.
Yeah, that's so terrible. You know? And it really affects. It's like online bullying, pretty much, you know. And it's really dangerous because it really affects people. It's unfortunate, and that is just should not be tolerated, you know. I feel when I see that people are being bullies, I have so much, I hurt for them because they're hurting. They hurt the most out of anybody in the situation, because you must be hurting so bad to go out of your way to hurt someone else.
Someone else as miserable as you.
Yeah, it's terrible. And so I hurt for this person, and I pray that it can only get better for them, so that one day they will have their real account and be like,
some people use their real accounts,
you know, things like that, you know, and just they can finally be themselves, and not have to hide behind a screen and make terrible decisions.
Yeah, it's honestly, that's why I like the fact that I do the podcast with my social media in association with my podcast, because the podcast, it sort of like forces you to be honest. It's truth. You know? Like any podcast you listen to. Yeah. You can listen to any conversational podcast. You can't just bullshit people and say it. People will call you out. On your bullshit. And to be like I said in the beginning, it's like I wanted to be me, you know, when I did this. And if I was to like be me and then like post myself with like wads of cash, you know, or fucking stunner shades and chains and shit, you know, Brian holding a tiger, you know,
a white tiger,
a white tiger,
a white baby tiger.
Like, where the hell did these guys get a tiger? First of all,
After Effects.
Yeah, and I seen that chain at 7 Day. Don't lie to me, you know.
No, but yeah. So again, like being you, being what feels right to you and honest to you, will resonate.
Yeah, for sure.
Know? And you can't please everybody.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
And that's okay. You know,
It
like I mean, we can talk more than 10 hours about stuff like this.
One of my, I always, I think if people who do listen to this all the time, I always bring up one of my friends who told me, the same guy that I was telling you, minimum value product, he told me, doesn't have to be perfect. Just put it out there. You're creating something. You know, if you're going to keep waiting in fear of judgment of people, you're never going to do anything. You know, and
don't, again, if you're worried about judgment with people, that just ends up, that's just part of life.
Yeah,
you know, it happens.
Sure.
And we can, if we just support each other, if we all practice supporting each other, there wouldn't be any judgment. There would only be constructive criticism to help that person grow.
Right. But you can't control the really sensitive people.
Yeah.
No, it's constructive criticism. Don't worry.
Yeah, no, but it's like, you know, if we supported each other, then you would have the respect. Everybody would have some level of respect for each other. And when you get criticism from your friends and someone that you have respect for, you actually take it as constructive criticism. You'll take it into consideration, surely. But at the end of the day, you have to be the one to make that decision for yourself.
For sure.
And that's okay. You know, it's okay to hear those ideas. You know, it's collaborative efforts.
Yeah, I think that's what's going on right now in Guam too. There's a lot of people creating all kinds of different stuff, and it's like a creative renaissance. People call it the art renaissance, but
it's beautiful.
It's literally like a creative renaissance. It's spanning from the digital to the traditional. And it's, like you said, it's beautiful from the graphic art to the graffiti art, you know, to the fashion, to the events that people are throwing, to the music that people are making. Within the last 3 years, music has like blasted off. People, how many albums have dropped here? And I think it's like over 10. And 10 years before that, how many albums dropped then? It's
without the platform. And
I always say it, it's like technology has like made this available for a lot of creatives to sort of set their own stage, right? So
and everybody's journey is different. So it's you're gonna do this, and then you're gonna at some point maybe go, you know what, I want to do this, and it's just an evolution of what you're doing.
Right.
And there's no need to compare, because your journey is unique to yourself.
Right.
You know, and learning from the ones around you, being inspired by the other podcasters out there.
Yeah. I mean, dude, not even just podcasters. It's
anything.
It's anybody creating anything.
Yeah. And it's really, it's liberating to be around that and to get that feed, that energy from them, you know, and to one day go, oh my God, one day maybe meet this person or these people or collaborate with them.
Yeah. And that inspiration is literally, or collaborations too, it's literally the support.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
That's everybody supporting each other, at least right now. And I don't know what it's going to turn into. I don't know if maybe Guam will be the region where art's coming out of the Pacific, you know.
I mean, I would love for it to happen, because, you know, growing up here, I've just always been like, wow, these people are so amazing at what they do, whether it's sports or music or fashion or just, I've always thought that there was this really strong sense of passion basically for what anybody does. I'm not trying to talk down on anywhere else in the world. It's because I grew up here. And then when I moved, it was like, oh my God, I'm going to the mainland. Wow, this is where the land of the free, and like what people, big things happen here, and which they do.
Right.
But you do come across like people that don't really have that drive and that desire, the way that I remembered growing up and being around kids my age and seeing it happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how to explain that, but maybe just the because it was just so much more smaller here, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of a microcosm of a society or a community.
Yeah.
And more tight knit.
Yeah.
It's not like someone growing up in the States and everybody lives 20 miles from each other. Everyone sort of lives within 20 miles from each other.
Yeah, I don't know, and maybe I could be ignorant saying that, but that I just do recall, like, and then I come home and I see like all of this amazing things happen with all these people, and I'm just like, wow. So I'm super inspired by that.
Yeah, for sure, and rightfully so, right? I think it's come a long way.
Yeah.
And I think that this sort of need to, how do I say this? You go out to the States and no one knows what Guam is.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Who Guam, what a Chamorro is, what a Guamanian is, where Guam is, what the flag looks like, what the people look like. Oh, you speak English? Wow, your English is pretty good. Like, nah, dude. Hello.
I used to tell people in Chicago, I'm like, oh no, I just took a crash course, like 2 months.
Yeah.
2 months crash course.
Just learn. Everything's chill though, bro.
Yeah.
And I think now over those years, it's as the identity was developing. I mean, when I went out there, I went through a killer identity crisis. Like being here, I knew who I was, knew who I was. I was Chamorro and everything like that. When you go out there, it's like, shit. Wait.
Where do I fit in?
Yeah.
Where does this go?
Yeah. So what community what subculture do I need to put myself into, right? Or what sort of I'm sort of going on a ramble here. But
No. I'm actually interested because for me, I enjoy trying to educate people in letting them know what Guam is or who we are, where we are, what the people are like, and what our culture is like. Yeah.
So I think we've come to the point to where now we don't have to explain to people who we are.
We're getting there, yeah. We're getting there.
Google it.
Yeah. Well,
you don't know? Google it. And
it's a little funny. Well, it's not funny, but I would. Where was I? I think I was in Montevideo, Uruguay, and this is in South America. And I was at a grocery store, and the guy in the line was, he spoke English. He was helping me. And he asked me where I was from, and I said Guam, and he's like, and I didn't expect him to know, and he goes, I go, do you know where that is? And he goes, yeah, and I was so shocked. I was like, wow, this is amazing.
Well, let me put my Guam guide away.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I was like, this is amazing. This guy knows where Guam is. Yeah. And I asked him, I go, well, how do you know? I'm curious. And he goes, it was during the time when Kim Jong
made
a big threat to Guam, and then it just made like global news.
Yeah, for sure.
And so it's unfortunate that we were put on the map that way, but it was really nice to have a moment with a total stranger in a different continent. And he goes, yeah, I know where Guam is. Yeah. It was super random for me.
And it's just where we are now.
Yeah.
And that's why I think like the personality is now coming out, because now when you say Guam or something like Kim Jong-un threatens to bomb us, they're gonna Google Guam, like, shit, where the hell is this place? It's an island of the Pacific. Let me check your YouTube videos. Guam. Oh shit, damn, they make some good videos. Okay, let me see the music. Type Guam music. damn, I didn't know music comes out of that. Let me see what their culture is like. Oh shit, they still have culture there. You know, and now we don't have to explain ourselves. Now as creatives, now we're putting ourselves out there and letting everyone know, like, hey, yo, this is who we are. You know?
Yes,
we don't have to scream from the fucking bottom. We're on the level of everyone else because of the internet.
It's really great. It really is. And to add to that, I was on a United flight, and you know how in the back seats they have the Hemisphere magazine. This is particularly to United. It was like Guam, and I grabbed this magazine, and it was like three days in Guam, and I was like, what? This is in every United plane right now.
Yeah.
And it was.
Oh, right now.
No.
Oh, okay.
Like at one point in time, there was a time when I was flying a United flight, and I just saw that, and it made me really happy to see that make it there.
Yeah.
You know, I was very proud and very, come see the island because it's a beautiful place. The culture is very vibrant. The people are very welcoming. We are very respectful people. We're family people, and we welcome the world. You know.
Yeah, and we're so diverse.
Yeah.
In what we do. I mean, just the fact that you can find hip hop and rap and punk rock and alternative rock and reggae.
Yes,
all in this
small,
this dense place like this.
Yeah.
It's
supporting each other.
Right.
The
crossing lines.
The most beautiful thing is that all of that is supporting each other.
Yeah, I've been saying creatives this whole time, but I also need to include like martial artists too, you know, because these guys like they practice this art every single day to travel to these different countries and share their knowledge about what they're learning day to day and learning from people and making sort of those connections. And then, you know, like musicians like you, right?
Totally. And I think martial artists are creatives as well.
Right,
you know?
right.
In a way, yeah. So to
but
some extent,
I've been only saying, you know, I've been mentioning a few creatives. B, can you put up a creative list?
Let's not talk politics.
Yeah. We don't want to start getting technical, right? Start getting technical here. Yeah, it's cool. It's really fucking like it's really cool to see. And I've been trying to leave this place for like the last 8 years. You know, since I moved back, I'm like I'm gonna go, but I can't.
Yeah.
I can't because for the last 8 years, I've only been seeing like every year is a little different. Every year is a little different. It's getting a little bit more interesting. People are coming out a little bit more. People are being okay with being themselves without having to worry about what other people are going to say about them. You know? Yeah,
and that's inspiring in itself.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
And then that spreads like wildfire, and then other people can try and break out of their shell to do the same thing, you know, and use it for good.
Yeah.
You know, use it for good.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Was it?
That was a good one. Yeah. We went on a tirade there.
I know.
No.
It's Phil's coffee.
Right. Oh my gosh. This is
really good.
This is literally the last bag. Yeah. So I go back out to the Bay in like a couple weeks. So
okay.
I'm gonna go pick up another 5 bags and ship it to myself.
Yes. Good idea.
Yeah. Where did we leave off at? You deciding that you were gonna work and become a working musician, and yeah, I just kind of fell into that. I really just not fell into it, but that became kind of like my journey in a way. Yeah. I wasn't like, I'm going to be a professional musician. That's it. I've made my decision. There was really none of that. It was just. It wasn't dramatic. No, it was like, you know, I like anything. Like we do what we want to do what we love, right? And so I have a love for music, just like anybody else, and I went with it. You know, I just kind of rode right into my path. What kind of opportunities did it open up for you? Well, being a full-time musician pretty much is like, to be able to do it full time is not an easy task, you know, but I still love it, you know, and
at the moment, like I have my project, my band, ... I've been able to write multiple albums with them, and then after that, I was able to have an opportunity to work for Cirque du Soleil. And now I've been touring with them for 3.5 years. And that's been a really wild, beautiful, blessed, amazing ride for me. And, you know, at the end of the day, I'm always grateful. Any gig, you know, any opportunity that presents itself is a blessing. You know, I mean, how many people, you know, it's, you know, like when you just start, you're just kind of like, you're trying to like, how do I not sound so like I'm selling you something?
Yeah.
But I just really want to work with you, but you don't know me.
Yeah.
But I promise that it can be really amazing if we gave it a go. You know, things like that.
Believe in me.
Yeah, please believe in me as a stranger.
Yeah.
Here's my elevator pitch.
Yeah. You don't know me, but you want to talk to me for an hour in my apartment by ourselves.
Yeah, and those are the risks. Those are the I guess the calculated risks worth taking.
Right.
You
for
know,
sure.
and
for sure.
I mean, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. But Joan was like, "You want to do this?" And I know Joan, so I was like, "Sure, yeah. I mean, sounds great. Totally, I'm down. I am down. I'm home. I'm down."
Well, yeah, it's very much appreciated. It's
yeah,
it's cool. It's cool just to like connect on this sort of level with, you know, even like people. I mean, shit, we met at the door, right?
I know. Yes, yes, we totally did. Well, my mom goes. I go. I'll be right back. I gotta go. I gotta go do this thing. She's like, where are you going? I go, I'm not really sure where I'm going, but I just know it's in Agania.
I put my tracker on.
She goes, is it safe? I go, Mom, I'll be fine. She goes, is it safe? I go, even if it wasn't safe, I'm going to be fine.
Yeah.
I was just like reassuring her.
That butterfly knife, right? Yes, I'm safe.
Yes. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Or just machete.
Yeah. From the back, right?
Yeah.
Like a sword.
Or like the stone sling. Like total chamarita style.
Right. You come here and just like coconut shells and
grass skirt. And all I'm going to do is pull your hair. Or lick your ear.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so I forgot where we were.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we were just kind of, we met at the door. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like opportunities, right? You got to sort of like create your own opportunities.
Yeah.
People wait for opportunities to come to them. Like, oh, you know, I'm just waiting for that opportunity. It's like, wait, how long you been waiting for?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, cultivating.
Right.
Like cultivate. So like, how should I say? You never know where it's going to come from, but you always have to keep moving.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the way that you're moving, you're doing your grind and pushing forward. And as you're going, you just have these things kind of crossing your path, you know, but you are all the while you're moving forward.
Right.
Whereas like you're saying, some people just wait.
Yeah.
And maybe, I don't really know.
It might be failure of rejection.
Okay.
Failure.
Sure.
Just,
yeah.
Or failure of rejection. Scared of rejection. Failure of rejection. Or afraid of rejection.
Afraid of rejection. Yeah.
That's the word I was looking for. God.
I'm like, sure.
It's a copy. Yeah. Yeah. Failure. Good win.
No,
yeah.
But you know what? Try and look at failure as valuable information.
For sure.
You know, like when you make mistakes, like learn from the mistakes.
Never gonna do that again. Yeah.
You know, things like, but it's okay to make mistakes. You know, it's like, as long as you're trying to learn from it and grow from it, it's totally fine. Like, I don't want, nobody likes to make mistakes, surely, but in order to get through the growing phase of anything that you do, music or just anything that you do, all levels of life pretty much, and any passion that you have, you're gonna have to, it's part of the growing process.
Right. That's how you know you're sort of going the wrong direction, is sort of the mistakes or the failures. It's like oh, I tried this. Okay, let's not do this time. Let's try tweaking it a little bit. I think that's what it is too. It's a lot of fine tuning.
Yes, tweaking.
You're not gonna get the perfect specimen or product or exactly what you want if you're just waiting for the product to evolve itself.
Yeah.
If you got to just sort of go and rub the edges, and I always compare it to I mean, not that I have any experience in it, but carving marble.
Okay.
You go to a museum and you see these intricate statues or of just like men, and the men who actually carved these marble stones into men.
Yeah.
And what it took.
The
detail,
Greeks?
Yeah, and the detail and the precision that it took to sort of do this. It wasn't just like crack and then it just went, it's this dude like ting 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 ting, wipe,
Mm-hmm.
back up, look at it from afar, come ting 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 ting. And I think if you sort of approach the things that you want to be passionate about like that, rather than waiting for something to arise, like, I've just been trying and nothing's panning out. I mean, shit, it might take 3 months. It might take 3 years.
Yeah, there's really no time limit on that stuff. As long as you're pushing through, and not getting discouraged, because you're going to be your own worst critic, and that's where the support is important, and getting that feedback from the ones you love and trust and respect, that will help keep your compass in check, and then if it feels right to you, making those choices and decisions for yourself with all those thoughts taken into consideration, that's part of it. That's part of the growing. Like there's no, it's the journey, I mean, I know that sounds a little cheesy, but it really is.
I was just telling someone this last week. I was like, as cliche as it sounds, like, and it's weird because all the cliche shit is like right, it's like it's truth. Yeah, even though it's like the word cliche is like, as cliche as it sounds, it's like yeah, I can say this shit all the time, but sometimes people won't get it.
Yeah. And in order to, I guess, if you want to try to explain it better, you use the cliche saying because it's turned into like a universal
right.
Like it's a blanket, like, like what's that phrase? The universal card, pull it out and everyone will understand it. Yeah. Like we all know what this is. In the world, we all know what this is.
Right.
So I'm holding the phone.
Yeah. She's shocked. She's
sign language.
Shocked right now.
I'm shocked. The shocker to the face.
The shocker to the face, which
AKA
is
telephone.
Cordless phone. Because no one wants a phone that big these days.
Doesn't even look like that anymore. It's more like this.
Right.
This is where we're at.
Yeah.
The Lego hand.
The Lego
We've come to this. We still live in this day and age.
Yep. Evolved to Lego hands.
Yeah.
They were right all along since the 80s.
So the journey is kind of like how your unique imprint of your journey, and you just stay with it and just push through. Don't get discouraged, and if you do, just have a breather. It's try and think of it as like maybe a marathon versus a sprint.
Oh my god. I just used that, and I did a speech like a month ago. Just like it was like 15 minutes, and that was my ending of my presentation.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah.
Gary Vaynerchuk, he's like this
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, he's like this famous entrepreneur. He's like all over everything.
Okay.
Right? And on purpose. He's all over everything on purpose. And
oh wow, okay.
So that's what he says. He's like, dude, too many people are so in a rush to just get it done, get to the end. And they don't enjoy the journey in between. They don't enjoy the process. If you're not in love with the process, you're not going to get to where you want to be. And that's how I've sort of been living my life. It's like, enjoy that marathon.
It's called growing pains.
Growing pains. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of my best friends. He says, because, he'll get frustrated when he's writing and stuff, and he's his own worst critic, and he's always happy, never satisfied. And that's more or less kind of the vibe in anything again, you know, like where you're happy with it. Always, and the critic in you is like, it could have been better, but I'm happy with this. This is good. You know, and then you just keep learning as you go, and then it'll eventually get to this point where you're like, wow, that was a really good one.
Yeah.
That was a really good one. And then it's those small like, not the small goals, but the what is it called when you, not triumph, oh my gosh, successes. Yeah. The small successes really gradually add up.
Yeah, for sure. 4-Piece Band just came out with their album a couple weeks ago or last week. Brian, was it last week? I don't know. But yeah, go download it. Anyways.
Okay.
Their first album came out 2 or 3 years ago, and they just came out with their sophomore album. And so I was listening to it. I was like, oh shit, it's like so tight. You know, you can just tell the evolution of how far they've come from album number 1 to album 4. You know, album 2. Sorry.
Okay.
Sophomore album, right? And I texted Freddie, and I was like, bro, holy shit, this is super tight. You know, it's like, and he goes, dude, it's been a journey. You know, it's been a long process for us to get to this point, and I'm glad it's finally like, I'm relieved it's done.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And yeah, you want just play the first song. Oh, turn down. Oh shit, that was really loud. Play the first one. Dude, this is the shit that's coming out of Guam now. You know, and this is the kind of stuff where people are like, "Oh, dude, is this from the States?" You know, like, "Oh,
yeah.
What part of California are these guys from?" Dude, this is right in the homeland, right?
That's amazing.
And
sounds great.
Yeah. And just everything about it, just the way their music has evolved. They've been touring the United States for the last 2 or 3 years, and just opportunities opening up for them. They went from just touring for 1 month, and now they go on like 2-month tours. And they open up. They're playing Cali Roots next year. So, and they're on main stage. They played like the audition part of it.
Yeah.
Like you like.
Right, and then it's going from here to here to here to here to here, but it's like not going to get there fast.
Right.
You know, it's gonna eventually.
Yeah, and in all that process, this is what they've come out with. You know, like you can tell, you can hear their journey. Play something from their first album. Just click on their 4-Piece Band. You should be able to click on their logo or something, or scroll all the way down. Yeah, right there, up. There you go. Play Love-A-Dub, or it's Love-A-Dub. It's playing. Completely evolved. Okay, I'm gonna talk about 4-Piece.
No, but it's great though. Like it's all relative.
Yeah, I love them so much,
relative.
you know, and I think I'm so fascinated by them is because I've seen their I've watched their journey. Yeah.
Yes.
You know, like practicing. I used to do this at an office space with a bunch of people, and they would practice out there, you know, and you're just sitting there like, shit, okay. And then now they're like touring. They just came back from tour, and they're going back on tour in September, right?
You know, sometimes it's hard to see the progress when you're in it, and that's where the support of you comes in to help them.
Right.
You know, because you've seen it and you're super supportive of it. But now that they're seeing it themselves, that means it's really being coddled and cared for.
Right.
You know, and that's incredible. You know, not many bands can do that. You know, they can't make it that far in the sense of keeping it together and staying strong-willed as a unit. Yeah. You know, it's really hard. You know, and so the fact that they've come this far and you've seen that journey from here to here, it's I mean, they went from a like just playing in a band, right? And they used to be 4-piece,
FOURPI, like 4 pieces. And then they transitioned to 4-piece.
And so evolution.
Yeah, man.
And
it's cool. I always tell Fred, Fred and JC, it's like, damn, dude, just the way that their music writing and their melodies, the way they sing and stuff. And because me, I'm a singer myself, and like, just when I hear someone singing, they can belt notes that I kind of imagine singing, or just like be able to hit certain tones. I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Jealous.
Or inspired.
It's like bittersweet. I love you. But it's all love. It's always all love for those guys, and it's killer progression. It's sort of a good segue, I guess, like the band that you were in, ...
Yeah.
Where did that all start off from? And how did it evolve into something so big to where you guys ended up on television? Right?
Yeah, so that's funny.
That's funny.
Yeah, I mean, it's always funny for me. That kind of stuff is funny, but
that's like the sticking factor, or the thing
yeah. I
people
mean,
remember.
well, there's a couple of us in the project that wasn't really, kind of like didn't really want to do that.
Okay.
But at the time it was like majority rules.
Okay. Yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's just do it.
Yeah.
So the singer of Dot, at the time we were in 2 different bands, and we would cross paths a bit, in the scene, and he sent his manager to come talk to me at one of my gigs in Chicago. And he came once, and then he came again, because for me, I was just, like, oh, what is this? Like, I don't know if I believe this. Yeah. Like,
all right, dude.
Yeah. It's like, okay,
cool.
Sure, sounds good. Yeah.
Cheers.
Things like that. So I was a bit skeptical, and then he came again, and then I knew that it was kind of a serious thing, and so I gave it a go. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try this. I know this guy.
What were you doing then?
I was in another project.
Okay.
Playing guitar in another project.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you like deep in, or was
it was my main gig?
Okay.
Yeah, and then we moved, and then we did this thing like on the side, playing for this singer from Detroit, like pop star kind of kid, and so Adam wanted me to be in it, be part of the band. He was building the band for it, and I was like, yeah, let's do it, and it was really fun. And then that ended up transitioning into Adam wanting to just do a project itself.
Yeah.
And he's like, I really want you to be a part of this. I want to write with you. I want to work with you. Let's do it. And I was like, okay, I'm down. And then we basically gathered the people that we wanted to collaborate with, formed the band, and then 5 months later we were on national television.
But you sort of took that evolution again in your music, right?
Yes.
You went from playing punk rock and now to
rock,
pop-ish.
and then into but on the side of that, I was in a metal band writing a metal album.
I'm never doing one thing.
No, I mean, it was part of my interest. I was interested in it, and so I was like, I want to do that. I'm going to try that. And so I was doing like 3 projects all at once. It was fun. It was really demanding, but it was fun for me. And then I just transitioned and made Dot my main project. And then we just kind of...
What was the determining factor of all 3 projects that Dot was gonna take precedence? It'd be past me my thing over there.
How should I say? I mean, it just ended up being like it needed my full attention. It needed all of our full attention. And so that's what we ended up doing. We went full throttle as a unit, and we built off of that, and we were self-maintained and did our own thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So was the decision to write pop music, because I was listening to the music, right, and then I started thinking about the year that you guys started like sort of playing, and I was kind of thinking, okay, what was considered pop music back in that time?
I mean, I guess it's kind of hard because
it sounds like, not that you guys sound like DNCE. But now DNCE has that
so
sort of
funny that you
fucking
say
like
that.
vibe. No, I'm serious.
Yeah.
Right? Like they sort of have that vibe, that ting 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 ting, you know.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
with the active, like very active singing and stuff, like I think the music's great. You know?
Thank you.
I can actually see the songs in like movies and stuff.
Well, Adam is the main songwriter, so he's a pop guy, and he writes everything. You know, like everything in the sense that he writes all kinds of stuff. You know, but for the project itself, it was collaborative efforts. But the songs rooted from him, and then there was 3 of us that were in the studio doing it, and then it just kind of like turned into, you know, just like coming in. Here's what I think, softly producing in a way, you know, all the tracks, but we always tried to cater to the song, you know, and it's what calls for the song itself. So really all the solos that I play from Dot was suggested by the producer.
Okay.
You know, I wasn't like, I'm going to play a guitar solo
No,
because I want to.
Turn on my guitar a little louder.
Yeah. I'm going to put number 13 on that amp. No, but it was
Don't
really...
tell me what phrase to play on that guitar solo.
No, but really it was all catered to the track at the time,
right.
You know, and that's part of the learning process.
Right. Sorry, not to be awkward.
No, you're taking That's okay.
It's part of the process.
Okay, no worries. Pictures mid combo.
Mid conversation.
Okay.
It's just because I'll forget. You know what I mean? I'll literally forget. You can literally walk out of here and I'll forget to do everything. Like, oh, okay, great conversation. See ya.
No.
Oh,
I mean,
shit. Damn it! I'm like texting, like, oh, I forgot to give you this. I forgot to do this.
That's okay. It's okay. Yeah. But yeah, so and then everybody in the project like kind of we all played to the strengths, you know, our strengths. Like our bass player, she was just business person. Like she was incredible. And we all learned from each other. And I love every single one of them till death do us part. Like even to this day, it's, you know, it's amazing to be able to have that bond with.
How many hours were you
people.
guys spending at least in the studio writing?
I mean,
you guys have what, 3-4 albums, right?
Yes. Yeah. And so, I mean, it was a daily thing because we would be doing our normal gigs, touring, and then writing studio stuff, and on top of it, trying to do rehearsals, like constantly doing stuff.
Were you traveling outside the city too?
Yeah. And so there was remote work, and then there was central work, you know. But I mean, I don't know about how many hours, because I'm surely Adam's
definitely put in your 10,000, huh?
Adams wins that. Yeah, he broke his Fitbit.
Yeah.
It popped on him. Actually, I should say he's popped like 50 of them. Yeah, but I mean, going from like metal to pop, it wasn't a bad thing for me because I like pop. I love indie music. I love indie pop. I have an appreciation for all kinds of music. But what I connect most with is what I will, you know, I'll gravitate to that, you know. And I'm open to hearing different kind of music, you know, to broaden the spectrum of
yeah, not that your spectrum's not broad enough, right?
Yeah, right. Classical, metal, punk, indie pop. Yeah, no, it's kind of all over the place.
No,
but
it's I mean, it's amazing that you've been able to be so diverse in that way. You know, like the music language is not it's not unfamiliar territory where you can't sort of put yourself into that. It's more about tweaking the sound at that point, right?
Yeah,
because you understand the language.
So a little bit on the topic of what you like, or like types of music. So I don't like, if there's something that I don't connect with that much, I look at the connection of what it does to those people, because that is what I share in common with how I feel about the music that I like.
Understood.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I can never downplay or say anything bad about any kind of music, because that was created and that meant something to somebody, and that person put themselves out there and in their most vulnerable self to put it out into the world, like it means something to somebody. So who am I to judge that, and obviously within reason. I mean, I'm not going to be like, that's really bad. You shouldn't do that.
That music sucks.
Yeah, no. I mean, I wouldn't do that. It's unless, I mean, if it's like bad music for doing bad,
right?
Then Right. But is there really music that does bad? I don't know.
Maybe really satanic music.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, but what is satanic music?
I don't even know.
Is it just, does it sound like metal? Because there are Christian bands that sound metal.
Yeah, I agree.
So
I have heard some Christian bands that sound metal too.
Yeah, and so I mean, you may not really understand what they're saying, but they're probably preaching some really healthy
words. Wisdom
in a very loud way.
You kind of chuckled earlier when I said the sound sounds like, like, not that you guys sound like DNCE, but now the sound sort of like their sound sounds like it's evolved out of that era that pop, that music was considered pop.
Yeah,
and that just goes back to what I was saying. It's like, okay, what was pop music back in the early 2000s?
Mm-hmm.
Late 90s, early 2000s was the boy band, single girl era, right? Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera. That was considered like pop music, right? And then maybe mid 2000s was more of, now rock started becoming sort of that pop sound. And I guess it sort of makes sense that now pop music was that sort of sound. I don't know. Maybe it's the coffee talking.
No. I mean, I don't know how. I mean, I don't just want to classify what I consider pop is pop.
No, because pop has changed over the eras, right?
And there's really good pop. Like, it tends to have like a bad name. I've heard in passing that it's like music has gone to shit, and it's like, well, what do you mean by that? I think it's extreme. It's super vibrant right now. Like there's so much coming out. So many different, like you have someone from the pop world collaborating with somebody from like the classical world, which they're a little bit similar, but it's amazing.
It's just derivatives.
Yeah,
of each other.
I mean, and it's, it's called music theory, not music law. So, I mean, it's, if it sounds good to you, then by all means, man.
Right.
Track it.
Right. Fusion ain't a word for nothing, right?
Oh man, that was good. No, but like really, yeah, it's amazing what you can do when you get like, I don't know how to, I can't think really right off the top of my head an analogy or an example, but when you're writing a song, it's coming from you, and that's you. That's the most purest thing, because it's you. But then when you bring people in to collaborate, it becomes multidimensional,
right.
And it becomes something that it would have taken you quite a ways to get to that point for it to be multidimensional.
Right. If you were to play every instrument yourself and sort of just sit there and try to
Yes,
compose, right?
yes, and in the writing aspect, cater to the song itself.
Okay.
And it's like it's like this beautiful thing when you're in a room with people and you're collaborating and you're butting heads for really good reason. When we were collaborating, it's, you don't get married to your parts. Just throw everything out on the table, and everything that you throw out on the table, feel good about it. Don't get stuck with it, but just like really feel like really passionate and feel love for what you're contributing to. And then when we start painting the picture, then you can pick and choose what do you think will work for the track itself.
Right.
And then at the end of the day, you have all of these things that you love. So it's a win-win when you choose, because everything that you put out on the table, you were pleased with.
Right.
You know, so again, it hones back into lead with what feels right to you and what you love and what resonates with you. Because when you do it honestly and truthfully and with positive intent, that will eventually resonate and connect with somebody else out there.
And do you think that's what the factor was when you guys came to write albums?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, I learned a lot doing that. You know, there's always a lot learning in anything that you do, but it was good. It was good stuff. It was really good collaborative fighting. That's a really bad word to use, but
agreeing to disagree.
Yeah.
To agree.
But like, you know, that's the journey. That's like the growing pains of getting to here.
Yeah.
I'm going to finish this marathon, but oh man, I am going to get so bloody, you know, in my feet and just like my clothes rubbing against my body. I'm just going to bleed all the way to the finish line.
Right.
But
we're going to carry this ring to Mordor together.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Sorry, that's the first thing that came.
We shall have my precious.
Yeah.
But yeah, and you know, I guess I related to running because I do run. So when I finish my runs, it's really liberating. You know, I feel like, wow, I feel really great. I feel re-energized and recharged. And again, everybody running any race,
mm-hmm.
the pace is your own. You are running against your own time. So you don't know what kind of training the person you had next to you has had. You know, like people behind you are looking at you as inspiration because they're like, I want to be that person.
Right.
Like by next year when I do this race, I'm going to be at that. I would love to be that time too.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm going to train however I can to get there and stuff. So, but when you're doing a race, you have your own chip and you're running against your own time, your own personal time. And it's the same thing with like your own unique journey.
Deep. That's wisdom. For sure.
Yeah. I mean, I like to think that a lot of things are very relative in the world, you know?
Yeah.
Very relative.
Yeah. Universal, right?
Yeah. And so if one person's feeling pain, we at one point in time have felt that same pain, you know, just probably a different circumstance.
Right.
Yeah.
So how did you guys end up on the show?
Bring it back. Yeah. So our manager at the time was like, oh, he suggested the idea. I'm trying to remember because it was such a long time ago.
Yeah, it was such a long time ago. The YouTube video is actually like 240p.
Yeah.
240 pixels.
I know. I'm like super aging myself, you know.
Damn. It's like,
yeah.
They don't have the HD version of this?
No, this is like back in the day, man.
This is
like,
when it was still on the cassette tapes, right? They have to ship the cassette
this was
tapes.
before, I mean, YouTube was what? Like
3 years old?
Four employees, like.
And this was around what year?
2007, 8, something like that. Okay. Yeah. So he brought up the idea like, hey, we have this thing and we want you guys to do it. And so some of us were like, I don't know about that. Let's just kind of like do our own thing, you know, like let's do this. He's like, no, I think it'd be really good for you guys. And what's there to lose? Like, we're a brand new band. We just started. We're all still kind of like learning about each other. 5 months in. And then we ended up doing it. So we went through like, I guess, audition trials and stuff like that. We went through that whole experience. We lived in a condo, and I think we went to Vegas first, I think. And then after that one, we went to LA and then started doing it there. Yeah.
So it was like audition and then you got onto the show.
Right.
And how the show, you guys got pretty far though, right?
Yeah, I think we finished third? I don't remember.
From the videos I was watching, it seemed, and the comments I was reading, it seemed like you were the darling of the whole of the whole like band. You know what I mean? Hey,
it's because I'm brown. They were like, "Who's that island girl?" We like her olive tone. That's right. I'm like Chamorro girls,
right.
Island girls. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean, you have to remember it's also TV. So,
right, okay.
You know, I mean, I was taking it with a huge grain of salt. The whole thing. It was really fun. I was taking it in, learning. I enjoyed myself. We all enjoyed ourselves. You know, we got to live with each other and see how that worked after kind of like being a band after 5 months. You know, it's like, wow, okay, we're going to live in a condo now. All 5 of us. Okay. Great.
1-bedroom condo. Bunk beds for everybody.
Yeah. But it was very fast paced because they had you know, TV and it being LA and how they were running things. You know, it was very similar to, it was an
weekly sort of
and it was it's basically like American Idol because it was from the makers of American Idol, and it had its template of how it was going to be ran.
Yeah. And
so it was just boom, 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 and there was like maybe one day of like, oh, we can chill, but then the next day it was like go, 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 go.
What were the hours like? It's like early morning to late night.
Actually, I'm trying to remember. It was so long ago. Oh man. We would have to work out the music that we would have to play. Mm-hmm. So we would go to Studio City, rehearse there, get the arrangements done, and then prep it for TV. So we would pretty much like be in the room, like basically collaborating all over again with these tracks.
So you're doing the show. You're rehearsing the show, and then you're doing the exact same show that you just rehearsed.
Yes.
And then having to collaborate in like taking songs and making it your own.
Yes. On top of having to figure out how to make it within a certain time limit. Mm-hmm. You know, we had to do that, and for the sake of the show, like you have a track that's like 3 minutes long, but you can only play 1:10.
So your solo's like 15 seconds, right?
Something like that. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I'm trying to remember. Yeah. Anyway, so
come on, 10 years, not that long ago. You're still a young gun.
Yeah. Try to be. It's like, what is it? 30 is the new.
Yeah, 20.
Yeah.
I just said that recently.
Or 40 is the new 10. I don't know.
I have a niece who just turned 22. And I was like, 22? Holy shit. What the hell?
I know. When someone says they're 28, I'm like, you're a baby. Yeah. Because when I hear the number, I think of what I was like at that age.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah.
All I was thinking was like, you got a lot to learn. You know, the 20s. The 20s, they say the teens are the learning ages, or the growing pains, but I think the 20s are the real growing pains.
Yeah, I mean, that's the time when you're definitely legal and you want to try all kinds of things.
Yeah, and you're absolutely making decisions for yourself.
Yes. Right? Yeah, totally. I think it's I enjoyed my 20s.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. So I'm optimistic about my 30s.
I think we'll
see how it goes.
Yeah. People ask, what age would you like to, like if there was one you can pick? It's always between 28 and 31 for me.
Yeah.
It's always like that window.
Okay.
But I'm also fine with.
Do you ever seeing yourself retire?
Retire?
Yeah. Is that even like in your vocabulary?
No, in the music world, is there such a thing as retire?
So. That's why I asked. Yeah.
Yeah. No, not really. I don't really think about that kind of stuff too much. I mean, yeah, I think about it, but I don't let it like cloud over what I'm doing now.
Like, I got to get to retirement. A lot of people live their life that way. You know?
Yeah. No, that's
like, just counting down the years till I retire. Almost 63. Get to do that garden I've been wanting to do.
Oh my God. Yeah. I was just gonna say, I'm gonna get a garden chair. Figure out what to plant.
Right. I have all day to think about it.
Peppers, doni,
Put a cucumber over here.
lemai, mango.
No, you don't want a lemai tree. Ask B. B, do you want a lemai tree?
Why? My grandmother loved her lemai tree.
You don't want a lemai tree.
Oh my God, we got whipped.
Lemai trees are the stinkiest and most messiest trees ever.
Wow.
Just because the leaves are always falling. You know
I guess I don't know because my grandmother loved her lemai tree and we were never allowed near it. Like you would get.
She takes care of it, huh?
Yeah, and like tang and tong and whipped left and right. Like you stay away from grandma's lemai tree. Anyway, so I guess I don't know what kind of like why they would be bad.
Yeah.
I just know I love them.
It's just that when they fall and they ripen, they fall. They stink.
Got
you
it.
got to clean up these huge chunks of fruit.
Overripe.
Right.
Yeah.
That has now fruit flies and now fruit. I never had a lemai tree, but my friend, he had 2 lemai trees in the back of his house, and that was like, it was like leaves all over the place all the time, just because they were like 30-foot tall trees.
Yeah. And so you were just constantly smelling ripe lemai.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it didn't always stink because it has to be in season, but when it did, it's like, oh shit. Okay, you need help cleaning this up? And like picking up lemai and stuff. And
okay.
But anyways,
enough,
how did we get there? How did we get to lemai?
Sure about lemai.
Shit. How did we get there? B.
He's dreaming about Phil's coffee.
Retiring. I always find a way back.
Yes, good job.
I always leave a string.
Good job.
Like,
I don't think I could have found it.
Like
I don't
tugging
think I
on
could have
it.
done it.
Yeah. Retiring. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't really think, like.
I don't want to retire for some reason. At least for like, I don't know. I don't know. I guess it's different for you because you're a professional musician. You can determine. It's now become a part of your lifestyle. Me, I've been an engineer for over 5 years, around 8 years. I don't count the first 3 years because it was like a learning process. But it's like that's the career that I'm in. There's a point of retirement, but then I found podcasting for like the last 3 years, and so like I'm looking like, oh shit, how can I work to do this for the rest of my life? It's not how can I work to do this to retire. It's like how can I do this so that I can love doing this until I'm like then lay down in my casket, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, I think like like you were saying earlier, it's like is it too late? And I don't think so. At this day and age, with what we have, the tools that we have laid out to us at this day and age, it's like there's no wrong or right way to do it. You just got to find your way to do it. And if you're going to be an engineer and a podcaster for a very long time,
marathon, I'm in it. I'm in it for the marathon.
That's your thing then. Yeah. That's your thing, and that's okay.
Yeah.
There's nothing, who's to say that that's wrong? You know what I mean? Like someone else's journey is totally different, and they can't, they'll be like, that's totally wrong. You can't do that anymore. I mean,
there's no real right way, right?
Yeah, there's always we have so much available to us to be able to get there. The unfortunate thing, maybe not unfortunate, but like it's like there's like a million doors, right? But there's a bajillion of us trying to go through those doors. So we're just slowly trying to get through those doors. Right. It's not going to be fast, but we're all going to eventually get through those doors.
The smart ones will create their own doors.
Or then there you go.
Right.
Yeah, things like that. Yeah.
So,
but retirement, no. I mean, I never really thought about it. Being a working musician.
I didn't think so.
Yeah,
right. And that's why I wanted.
I mean, maybe I would love to talk to someone that actually does think about that stuff as a musician, working musician. I don't.
I'm sure Steven Tyler would want to chill.
Oh my God!
I didn't realize that guy is 70 some years old,
and he can still sing his ass off. It's incredible, yeah. Dude. Yeah. The longevity of that is.
Yeah. And I guess that's what it is. It's like you never retire. You're always, because it's a part of your lifestyle, right? You sort of work this hard for it to get to this point where music will probably never leave your life.
Yeah, no, I hope not. I mean, I'm always grateful for, I'm grateful I'm doing this, you know,
Yeah.
I'm super grateful because even no matter how big the scale size of the gig you have, that could change at any point in time, you know, and so always be grateful, you know, and not in just the music world, but just in general,
Yeah.
you know,
In everything you do.
Yeah, because I mean, if you're a chef and you're at this restaurant working, all of a sudden the business owners or investors are like, you know what, not anymore, and then it's like, oh, okay, great.
We don't need we don't need a lobster guy anymore.
We want soft crab shell guy.
Oh shit. I think we're getting pretty good at this. Making up arbitrary situations.
I can be your Andy. You can be my Conan.
Yeah, totally.
I don't mind wearing a gray suit and having a comb
tuxedo,
over.
right?
A little comb over.
Yeah. We're gonna have to dye your hair a little bit, but it's okay. And just cut it. Just cut your hair.
Yeah, that's fine too.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we can work it out. We can work it out. We'll talk to Brian. Brian can hook it up. Yeah, I think Brian cuts hair.
Ooh. We should do like a podcast haircut. Just hear it fall.
Yeah. And now Brian's shaving the middle of my head.
and then it pans and we're being cruel to the dog.
Yeah, we're actually
we've given it
the
a
dog.
mohawk.
How did Cirque du Soleil come about?
Okay, so
okay, go ahead.
No, is what?
I was gonna have a follow-up question before you even answered, but go for it.
So I received an email from them and asking if I was interested in auditioning for the gig. And prior to that, I had moved to San Francisco.
Okay. Around what year was this?
2014.
Okay.
Oh my God, I can't
4 years
remember
ago.
now. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I believe.
You better check your memory bank. It might only go back about a year.
I know, it's so bad. Yeah, I need to remember.
You need to start
things.
posting more on Instagram.
I know, I'm really bad at that too. You know, I try to.
It's a good memory bank.
Yeah, that's true. I should. Yeah. Okay. I never thought about that.
It's okay.
But now I know.
Yeah.
Now you can kind of.
I don't want to give you a reason to go on your phone now.
No, but you can use it as a calendar.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
I do it all the time. You know, just looking.
When did I post that? Oh, okay, that's what happened.
I kind of just backlog. Like, oh shit, damn, it's been that long since they've been on.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I received the email, asked if I was interested in auditioning, and I wrote back and said yeah. And so they sent the kit, prepped the kit, did the audition.
Kit is.
And the way that they do their auditions is that they send you the music, and then you have to play to this specific itinerary, like this this outline of what they want from you.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did that, prepped it, sent it in, and then waited. I don't remember how long I waited.
Sorry, I guess I'm just missing the exact
online. Oh, I guess it was an online audition.
Okay, so you have to they send you music.
They send you music.
And then you are improvising over it, or
no,
or you're kind of just trying to pick it up.
No, I guess let me think about it, because I just learned the music that they send me, basically, is what I did.
Okay.
Yeah, and they want to see a very raw version of yourself. They want to see no tricks on your video, no nothing. They just want
playing in your pajamas.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
Super raw.
Oh my God, on your bed.
Yeah, on your bed. We want a red background so we can see the strings, whatever magic you're doing with your fingers.
Yeah, no, it was just super, just one shot from head to toe with the music, you playing with it, and that's basically it. Just be yourself, you know. And so I did that and sent it in, and I think I waited I think it was 2 weeks. I can't remember.
That's pretty quick.
Something like that. It was like 2 weeks. But usually when you send stuff in, it's like, some people don't even get a call back.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
So that's why you just got to keep going, I guess, you know?
Yeah.
But
were you expecting a call back?
I was, yes. I was expecting something because they asked for it and I sent it. And so.
It's not like you were seeking it out.
No.
Right.
Yeah. So it was just a matter of waiting. So I believe it was about 2 weeks. And then they were like, okay, we're going to offer you the gig.
Oh yeah.
And so it was great. It was like, awesome, cool. This is a beautiful opportunity. And after that, I just kind of, I think it was about a month later that I went to the headquarters in Montreal and did some training there, did costume, makeup, saw the whole shebang.
Did you know what you were getting yourself into?
No, because I didn't really know what Cirque was at the time. I didn't really know what it was. Yeah, I didn't realize.
It was like a circus.
Yeah, like when you hear Cirque du Soleil, I was like, okay. But then I didn't realize that there was like this gigantic production of like 20 shows.
Super intricate.
All over the world.
Yeah.
You know, gigantic.
Yeah.
And so.
I think I only heard of Cirque du Soleil in that one movie with Seth Rogen. And they took mushrooms and they went to the Cirque du Soleil show. And he was like, what? And they had to like split. Oh my gosh, what movie is it?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Anyways.
But yeah, see, so things like that. Yeah, I mean, I've
never watched an actual
Cirque show.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It's cool.
I've seen YouTube videos and stuff on it, but not like real life, in it.
Yeah, you should. I mean, if you ever get the chance, if you ever go to Vegas, they have resident shows there, and you can check it out there. And they all have their own theme, I guess, theme or story.
So there's 20 touring shows.
No, I don't know how many touring shows there are, but there's 3 tiers. There's big top touring shows, which is the traditional circus tent looking
right
that everyone would recognize as the traditional. And then there's the arena tours, which they play in arenas. And then there's the resident shows, which are stationary. And
a little bit more intricate because now they don't have to move things all the time.
Yeah. The production is based right there, and it's built for that show, and it stays there.
Vegas is like the main one.
Yes. Okay. I believe so. Yeah. And then they're starting to branch out and have other resident shows elsewhere. Like they have one in Mexico,
right? And
I believe they have. Where's the other one? I can't think of where the others are. And there's probably some to come too.
God, it would be so interesting to see it in Japan. Have you been to the robot restaurant?
And they do have shows in Japan. Like there are touring shows that go to Japan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The robot restaurant?
Yeah. I mean, I was just thinking like, damn, what if you mix like a Japanese person's mind of how they would go do things, and then mix it with the Cirque du Soleil sort of style, because that robot restaurant is insane. It's literally a restaurant. So you go to this restaurant, you sit on either sides, and it's literally like a show that goes through the middle of everybody sitting down, and you can either just chow or you just drink.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like a dinner show.
Yeah, it's like a dinner show, but it's like wild.
Wow.
Fucking wild.
No, man, I've never heard of it.
Yeah, the robot restaurant. But anyways, okay. Don't let me
No, that's fine. I mean, that's kind of like the gist of it. So I got the gig, and then I've been touring with them for 3.5 years. Pretty much.
Just in South America?
No, I joined the tail end of the North American tour.
Okay.
And then we went to Europe for 2 years, I think, and then now we're in the South American tour.
Damn.
Yeah, it's really. I mean, it's incredible. It really is.
How many shows are you doing a year?
Oh my gosh, 300, give or take.
That's multiple shows a night.
Yeah. I mean, when I was doing DOT, I was doing 275 plus. So I wasn't like it wasn't
275 shows.
Like, yeah. But it was we were.
Yeah.
It's. I'm not saying that to sound like it's...
No, it's still a lot.
It's a lot of shows, yeah. And to be self-maintained to do that, yeah. So 275 and then 300, I'm kind of like, I feel like I've been a little conditioned to the demand of that. You know, and so it wasn't like it was new to me to do that many shows.
Like, oh my gosh, this is just way too much. I wasn't expecting this.
Yeah. I mean, it's demanding in its own way, in a very different way, you know. So, but you just learn to adapt to it and figure out how to make it work for you.
Right.
Yeah.
So now that you're in a touring band, you're not based in one city. I'm sure it's hard to have like just a place to stay, right?
Yeah, but I'm used to living on the road, basically. Okay, so it's not foreign to me to
just bring a suitcase.
Yeah, it's really not. It's not foreign to me at all. But I can come home. I can come home here and just be totally fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I can be in a house and be totally fine and
it's like
pull grass for my mom and dad.
I need to get out of here. Get me out of here now.
Yeah, no, I mean, like cut the grass, go check on the chickens, it's that's fine to me too. You know, it's a very gypsy life.
It is, yeah. I was just gonna say nomadic.
Yeah, very, very, yeah.
It's like a modern day nomad.
Yeah.
And how's that changed your mindset or your at least your outlook on life and people?
I don't know.
Because now you're running into multiple cultures.
Yes. Yeah. It's just learning. It's like, it's curiosity, you know? I like to observe. Usually I'm a pretty reserved person. And I observe and I learn that way, you know, and it's interesting to me to like see all these people from all over the world putting together this show for people in this country.
Right.
Like, you know, we come together. It's like the United Nations, basically, you know, on stage, throwing each other around and playing music for them, and in a very acrobatic, musical way.
Yeah.
You know, but it hasn't. I mean, changed my outlook really. I've never thought about it that way.
Yeah.
You know, it's just learning of other people and their culture and what they've grew up around or what they're accustomed to, and also having respect for what they're used to, you know? I mean, for me as a human being, if I see things that are unjust, I am not okay with that.
Right.
You know, it doesn't matter where you come from. If you're being a bully, and if you're just not doing, if you're outright doing things outright for yourself and hurting people along the way, that's just not cool.
Yeah.
No matter where you come from, you know?
Yeah.
But the customs that people are used to, so it's mainly the food, really. It's like, wow, that's what you make where you're from. That's really awesome. I'd like to try that sometime. Or I'll try new things with just in any country that we go to, just to try it once, you know, just to kind of like, I've never tried that. Okay, I'll try it.
Yeah.
You know, but as far as it changing my outlook on people, it's not really.
Well, people just sort of become people when you run into that many people all the time, right?
What do you mean by that?
Do you become numb to the interaction, maybe the interaction. Okay, how many people do you think you run into in a year? I'd cross paths with, I mean, whether you're talking to them or not.
Oh
whether
my
you're
gosh.
playing a show or
Oh man, I don't know.
and maybe 100,000.
Oh, well, we play to, okay, so it's like 3,000 people a night, so about roughly 30,000 people a week.
Yeah.
Something like that. I mean, it's a lot.
Can we get a calculator here? Let's see.
But it is a lot.
Yeah,
you know?
it's a shitload. It's a shitload. Okay, let's see. So you see 3,000 people a night times 300 shows.
Sure.
300. It's 900,000 people.
That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so.
And that's just one show.
Yeah,
That's like
I'm
one out of 20.
Yeah, I'm not, but I'm not saying that you're like out of touch or that you've sort of like not. I'm not trying to make this. I'm trying not to make this come out like sounding bad, because it's not meant to sound bad. But when you're around something enough, like I don't even think I've run into 900,000 people in a year, right?
Okay.
So now you're seeing people as just people now.
Yes.
Like,
yes. Okay. Maybe I might be following.
Okay.
So the audience,
like the amazement of the people that you're running to is sort of diminished because of the amount of people that you run into.
Oh, you mean like in my personal life?
Yeah. I mean, how do I say this?
I'm trying to understand. I'm sorry that I'm not.
No, it's
following.
okay. Maybe my question is just not coming across, or at least my thought process.
Okay, how about this? What are you trying to get at?
Okay,
like, what do you want to know exactly? Like the idea of what you want to know.
So like my family runs a mortuary business, right?
Okay.
And the amount of funerals that my family goes through, you sort of, not in a bad way, become numb to like just being at a funeral or seeing a dead body or just being around just people who are grieving, right? If you're around it enough. Right?
Oh,
so
like you've just become accustomed to...
Oh, jeez.
You've become accustomed to the atmosphere of what we do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. God. Jeez. All that.
That's okay.
Yeah.
See, we got there.
Yeah,
we got there.
I'm glad.
Growing pains.
Right. I'm glad we were able to break that down. I mean, yeah, that's what I was trying to get to. It's like you've sort of... You've become accustomed just to like seeing so many people that it doesn't exactly phase you that to where it'll change your outlook on life.
No. I mean, I don't think it's done that, because maybe what grounds me is like when you're really exhausted, you gotta find the energy to give it. You know, you're on stage, and these people chose tonight out of their hardworking week. Mm-hmm. To come see this show, and it's your job to give them a great time.
And if you're just standing there like,
it's because and if you're doing that, it's like, this isn't about you. Right. You are part of something that's bigger than yourself. And that's really beautiful. To be a part of something that's bigger than yourself is so great. Like, how can you nag on something like that, Okay. And so for me, what grounds me, at least like the quickest thing that grounds me, are the kids. The kids out there, for them to see something at this caliber is like, not everybody, like, how many kids on Guam will be able to get to see something like that? Right. So I really appreciate the fact that children get to see a production like this, and to have the opportunity and to have the experience of seeing something so grandiose in their eyes. Right. And you can only hope that it inspires them in their own journey. Yeah. And
but other than that, for like adults, it's just people though. Right.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah. I mean, I hope, for me, it's like, I hope that they leave feeling like,
I mean,
like feeling pleased with like, I don't know, like the feeling of like, wow, that was really fantastic. I feel great about the arts, and appreciation for what everybody on stage does.
Yeah.
Because
what I was getting at was not to be like, find a negative aspect towards what you're doing. It's just, I mean, 900,000 people a year is a lot of people.
Yeah,
that you like go through, just with your shows alone, and let alone with just people you interact on your personal life with now, right? Whether it's your colleagues or people you meet out in the street or people you meet in social events and stuff like that. That's a shitload of people.
Yeah, it is. And but it's not. I try not to put it on like maybe like a pedestal, if you will. Like, does that maybe, I don't know if that's relative to what we're, but like the fact that I've experienced 900,000 people doesn't make me better than, lesser, or lesser than, it's just, it comes down to the energy and the common denominator of the love for the arts and the music we all have, whether we are musicians or not. And that for me, it's like I think about those things. I try to be self-aware of those things.
Okay.
And so if I'm talking to someone,
and then that's what I was trying to get at, is like, did it change sort of your outlook now that you're seeing all these people who, like you said, work hard to go and see this show on a particular night and watch you put out your all, right? No,
it hasn't. I mean, I know that I try to appreciate it the same way that they appreciate what we do. They look at it and it's like, wow, you have the best job in the world. And then there are some people that are like, I think you have the best job in the world. Right. And it's the perspective that we all have of, again, it's hard for us to see the progress when we're in it, and people struggle to enjoy the journey because you just kind of get so lost because you're distracted by the outside distractions.
Understood.
So it's a lot of work to try and keep yourself aligned, following your true north compass. Right. And it's work to do those things. We're going back to you saying people just wait for opportunity. It's like, it's work to bring yourself alive from within, and in order to do that, it's like try and always be a good person. Because there's too much, the world is there's just too much bad.
There's way too much bad.
But there is also a lot of good.
Agreed.
We have to work. We have to put the energy in that side, in order for us to survive. Yeah. Yeah.
Sure. Damn. Sorry, that question was like.
No, it's okay. I hope I answered it properly.
No, I don't even know if I asked it question properly.
How's our baby tiger?
Yeah. Hey, what's up, baby tiger? How long have we been going here?
2 hours.
Oh man.
Whew. Okay.
That's a lot of Phil's coffee.
Yeah. I think I've reached at least I've asked everything I've wanted to sort of like pick your brain out of like where you've come from and how you've developed into now being able to travel the world and experience the world and experience many different cultures. Like you said, like kids here, we don't really get that opportunity, right?
Yeah.
And now the fact that you get to actually like live that sort of, now you don't have to go wait to see the show. You are the fucking show, right?
Yeah.
Well, you're part of the fucking show.
Right, I'm part of the big show. Yes, right, yeah. Right. But for me, when I'm out there, I always try and present myself in a respectful manner because I'm representing our island.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm super proud to have our flag waving on the tent. It's a beautiful moment for me.
That's awesome.
And for the people here.
Yeah,
it's like, it makes me proud, and for what everybody else that's coming out of this island doing that, it's like I feel like I'm helping us grow.
Yeah.
And it's beyond me.
Yeah, it's awesome you say that, because on Twitter, like there's like debates that go on, and there was a debate that was going on that it was like shitting on people who leave the island. Like, do you really care you're leaving the island? It's like, and people are like, well, I have to take care of shit, and like I'm doing me and this and that. It's like, yeah, but at the same time, like, people are still representing the island even when they leave, no matter how far around the globe that they go.
Yeah.
There's always a flag there. There's always a necklace there, or a bracelet, or a T-shirt, or a hat.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're the most prideful people, and I think, and it's mostly like the younger generation, right? You can't shit on people who want to go and sort of expand themselves in different ways. Yeah, Guam's going through this thing where, now you can do things here, but it didn't take away the opportunity to still go out and still experience the world. Yeah.
I mean, it's, again, the silver lining, the fine line of trying to make sure you maintain it in an honest way, and I try not to do anything that's going to make make us look bad. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
on top of still trying to be me at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot of work.
You got a whole island on your back.
I know. I mean, our back, yeah, but it really is. It's like you get exhausted and you're like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do me, and I don't care what anybody thinks. And then you start doing these rash things that just have like really bad fallback, and you're like, shit, I should have thought about that first, you know. But you were so in a hurry to get there that this is a result of it. So hopefully you can look at that and learn from it and try not to do it again. You know, I mean,
Well, it's easier for you to inspire now today than it is 10, 20 years ago, you know, with people here to be like, oh shit, I want to be like her. Wow, she's touring? Damn, I can do that one day. But think about 10 years ago. Would we have known? Maybe if it came out in the newspaper.
Yeah.
Right?
Totally, yeah.
Or in the news.
Yeah.
But now we can actually like document our lives and create inspiration for people.
Yeah, and if we support each other, it'll be incredible.
Really love how everything's like sort of like we're like tying back all the ends here. Like
yeah. I mean, I could really add another
4 hours.
Another 4 hours. we can have more baby tigers.
Yeah.
We can wait till the box of Phil's coffee arrives in the post office.
I'll go off island, come back, and we'll still do the
But yeah,
podcast.
I mean, it's hard. I mean, because we're human and we're wired in a way where we're at the mercy of having no choice but to feel these emotions because we're human, and we're wired that way.
Yeah.
We feel the pain, we feel the love, we feel all kinds of emotions. And we have to remember that the person next to us experiences that kind of stuff too.
Yeah.
And to be sympathetic, empathetic, and supportive, and not forget that, you know, like we're here for the love of life, basically, you know, like we're all trying to find our own way.
Yeah.
We're all trying to find our own way. And yeah, I mean, I
think whether it's here or it's there, right?
Yeah.
Here, there, anywhere, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I
think once you say you're from Guam, you sort of create that representation. Like, shit, I represent everyone who comes from there, so I'm gonna be the best person I can be.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. And
I'm gonna do the best that I can do.
It helps to keep that in mind for sure. I mean, being devil's advocate, there's probably some people that are like, fuck that island, I'm the worst experience ever, and blah 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 blah. And that's so unfortunate, you know, and I hope no one ever experiences that ever again in the future, you know. But it's like, I don't know what caused that person to, this is just theoretical person, hypothetical person. Yeah. And it's like, were you open to the culture, or were you just like kind of thrown into having to come here when you really didn't want to? The journey where you were at in your journey, it just wasn't the good timing. You know what I mean? Like, the perspective, it can be good if you do the work from within to see it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably a lot of things that can kind of like, you know, again, be devil's advocate against what I'm saying. And I'm open to those kinds of talks as well, because it's interesting. It's very fascinating to me, people's perspectives, especially when they rub, you know, because that's where a foundation of bonding starts. You know, if you're on a level of being civil about a conversation like that.
Live in progress.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You have to be able to disagree in order to find sort of a middle ground of what you guys are trying to, or the two people in conversation or group of people in conversation are trying to get to, right?
Yeah.
That's why it's not easy running government.
Oh my God, they always say that's politics.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But it's and you're totally right? It's in the end, it is what it is.
Yeah, they say that, right? That's another cliche. It is what it is.
But it's up to you to really change your outcome, right? Like you said, the direction. Yeah, maybe this time's not the right time, but
yeah, just try it anyway. You know, like if it feels good to you, and it's something you want to try, then go for it.
Yeah,
you know,
my favorite quote from Calvin and Hobbes, probably butcher it, but it's I'm not exactly where I want to be, but I know I'm exactly where I should be.
Oh, okay, yeah. I've heard that one before.
So
I didn't realize that was Calvin and Hobbes.
Well, they always put a Calvin and Hobbes picture behind it. It might be some author.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
And I like to read.
But
yeah, true, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, and I think we'll all do fine, right? Whether you leave Guam and spend the next 10, 15 years of your life outside of Guam, representing Guam, or doing whatever you do, even if you're not representing Guam, you know, it's like, as long as you're doing what you do, that's all that really should matter when it boils down into the end. It's like, where's your happiness at? Is your happiness dependent on carrying everyone on your back, or is it really just like dependent on what you really want? Is this are you doing this because someone told you to do it, or are you going to do it because this is exactly what you want to do?
Yeah, I mean, I do this. I have a quote that I often ring in my mind, and it's usually give to give, not give to get. Because with giving, you eventually get the getting, you know, so it'll eventually come, you know, and
as cliche as it sounds.
These are the days of our lives.
Rose, this was really fun.
Yeah, Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm glad you totally like agreed to come
totally,
on.
Man.
Yeah, thank you to Joan. Like, dude, thanks, Joan.
Yes, Joan.
She hit me up. She's like, "You interested?" I was like, "Yep."
I'm gonna buy you coffee and a really awesome dinner at one of those places that your Instagram food pictures that she likes to post. Oh my gosh. It's incredible.
So I mean, I'm super appreciative to even just like cross your path and you know, like just pick your brain and see where you've come from and where you've been. I think it's important.
And likewise, man, I love it. You've inspired me with this. This is really awesome, and I fully support it, man.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. I love it to death, and I hope to keep doing it.
And I see it. I totally see it.
I mean, just getting the opportunity to meet, you know, people like yourself, right? People who are doing things. Yeah, there's people here at home doing things, but there's also people abroad doing things, and just the fact that you're willing to share your story on it and share your experience, you're inspiring someone who's listening that we don't even know.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. We both are, man.
You know, it's like,
we both are.
Damn, she went through the struggle, right?
And it still is, and it's always gonna be there, you know. And just remember to always try and push through. Be you, do you. Be honest, you know, with yourself, and just keep going. Don't get discouraged. And if you feel like you need to let it, like if you feel really discouraged and you're like, I'm just going to hang this one up, have a breather, you know, and try and find your true north again.
Right. Balance.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Sure. Well, thanks so much for having me.
Yeah.
It was super fun. And
we didn't get to use Brian a lot tonight, but maybe next conversation.
Thanks for taking care of the baby tigers.
Yeah. If you think I don't have anything, like if I can't talk more, next time you're freak out. You're like, wait, didn't you ask me everything? I was like, nope, I'm still not done. Totally, let me know whenever you're on island, and if you want to sit down, I'm more than willing. I'll make some time for you.
Awesome.
And make the space. Promote anything you like. This is like your opportunity to like have, you know, people follow you. Where can people follow you at?
I'm on Instagram. I do the Instagram thing and Facebook. I dabble. It's really hard for me to do all of them because I just would be constantly on my phone, like trying to just maintain all of that. But Instagram, it's my name, Rose Laguan.
Okay.
And on Facebook, it's Rose Anna Laguan, my full name.
And like, is there any way you can promote the show? Like,
so with Amaluna, the show that I'm touring with now is, you know, Cirque du Soleil. It's called Amaluna, AMALUNA. It's basically the idea of the show is I think it's the Mother of the Moon.
Okay.
Yeah, Amaluna. Yeah.
And
you can check that out on.
And you can go to South America and watch her live.
Yeah, if you're in South America, please check us out. You can get tickets online. I wish we could be like, hey, come on down. We start at 7:30. No. No, but hopefully, if we're gonna hit the U.S. again, and then probably hit Asia.
Circuit. Oh,
yeah,
gosh.
so try and just follow along if it's something you're interested in doing.
Does the show change as the years go along, or?
Yes.
Okay.
More or less, it does. Yeah, every show has its own transition.
So how can people keep track of like what show you're playing, or at least the story you're playing, or I don't know.
Yeah, you mean the story, like get the actual show itself. I mean, because it's kind of a production in terms of like I guess if Broadway-ish, there's no way to like, they're like no cell phone, no videoing. It's to protect, the
shock and awe of the show.
Sure, yeah, pretty much, But I mean, you can if you're ever in South America, just come check it out. We are going to be in Ecuador.
It's amazing.
Yeah, no, man, totally. Thanks so much for it. It's been super fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
2 hours. I know. You talk to a stranger for 2 hours.
I know. It's like 30 minutes.
Yeah. Your mom's calling you right now. Like,
yeah, no.
I thought you said it was safe.
Yeah, but you can follow me. I'll be better at Instagram and all that stuff.
Honestly, document as much as your life as you can.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, the fact that the opportunity's there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's weird. I mean, coming from our generation, that it's like weird to be like, "What's up? Hey." Like, it's still weird for me to just talk to my phone, but people watch it, right? People want to see what other people are doing and like create that inspiration.
Yeah,
right?
totally.
Going back to that,
totally,
right?
Yeah,
like, wow,
yeah.
shit, I want to do that one day.
Yeah. For the good.
Right. YouTube videos, we're waiting for them, bros. So. document.
I know. Yeah, I need to be better.
Change
at that,
some little girl's life, dude.
Yeah,
Bros, you never know that, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. But thank you very much.
Awesome,
I really appreciate your time. Thank you very much. And to all my listeners, thank you very much. B loves you. Matt in spirit loves you. I love you.
We love you.
We love you.
Love you, Guam.
Yeah. Peace out.
Peace.
Sweet. Oh.
Wow.